Away from 7 on the South African morning, things looking very bleak for South Africa's rental housing market. That civil unrest mid last year, making the situation worse. Landlords continue to bear the brunt of the increased vacancy rates. Well, that's according to TPN Credit Bureau vacancies survey for the fourth quarter, or Q4 of 2021. So just how bad is this? How worried should landlords be? There's the CEO of TPN Credit Bureau, Michelle Dickens. Hello, Michelle. Good to have you on the South African morning. So how worried should those be who own properties that can't get them rented out or can't get them rented out for the value that they should be getting?
Hi, Gareth. Thanks. And thanks for letting us come and chat about the residential rental market at the moment. There's a number of factors that will feed into the landlord's ability to make a net profit, because ultimately it's about making a profit on our rental investment property, both a yield on a monthly basis, as well as that lovely capital growth that we should be securing when we want to exit the property at the end of our investment. Capital growth at the moment is sideways. It's flat. It has been for the last at least 14 years. So landlords rely then on their income growth and the income yield on their properties. And what drives our income growth and our income yield, net profit, is having the property occupied, so having tenants in our property, and then, of course, the value of rent that we are able to achieve as a result of that. Right now, unfortunately, for the last, since prior to the pandemic, we were sitting at about 7.5% vacancy rate. So that was really acceptable for a landlord. Coming into the pandemic, it started to increase, and at the height of the pandemic period, we were sitting at 13%. In fact, for 3 quarters, we were sitting at around about 13% vacancies. So that's nearly double what landlords are generally expecting. We dropped back down to 10.6%, but then unfortunately, Gareth, in the last quarter, it's back up over 11%. So we're stuck in these double digits vacancy rates. This is driven a lot by the lack of demand. So as you said, we had the unrest. We've had a lot of job loss with 2.1 million jobs, still down to where we were prior to the pandemic. And so with less demand in the market from tenants, a lot of tenants consolidating, so incomes being lost and tenants consolidating, this is driving down the demand, driving up vacancies. Now, with high vacancies, tenants are on the pound seat. They're able to negotiate better rentals. So we're seeing that rentals went into negative escalation. Effectively, tenants were paying less for rent than what they were a year previously. And this escalation, although we see it back in positive territory last quarter, it's only 0.5%. So this is nothing compared to the escalations that landlords are seeing in terms of levy escalations, utility escalations, rates and taxes. Repairs and maintenance costs still continue to remain a sore point for many landlords as well.
Help a landlord understand then, Michelle, while I've got you, how do they try and get around this? Because I would imagine, I'm not a property owner that's having property rented out right now, but would it not be better to have, say, at least someone in your rental property and making some money from it instead of it standing vacant? You might not make as much as you want to, but at least your bond is being paid off and you're getting a little bit on the side. Or does that drive the market down? So some people might be against that.
Yeah, a lot of different dynamics drive the market down. Absolutely, we've got this high oversupply of properties in the market. So we've got a lot of institutional landlords that have come into the market in the last few years, particularly from 2018, a lot of development, a lot of new construction in the market. We've had big books of rental properties coming into the market at a single point in time. So when you've got 500 to 1,000 new properties in an area, those particular landlords who have these big portfolios will drive prices down with incentives like rent-free for a month, deposit-free, zero deposit, water and electricity included. And these kind of incentives then force micro landlords with only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 properties in their portfolio to try and compete with these bigger institutional type landlords. So it's not just the negative escalations that we're seeing, but it's the incentives in the market as well in terms of these zero deposits and 1 or 2 months.
Michelle, in the last just 30 seconds I've got with you, forgive me for jumping in, Michelle, is now a good time to be looking at a property that you want to rent out? Is this now get in low and hope it picks up later? Or, I mean, I know this might go against what you do for a living as the CEO. Would it be better to stay away from being a landlord right now?
I think rental properties, it's very much dependent on the area that you're in and the type of property that you are looking at. You've got short-term lets, holiday lets, student lets, residential lets. If you're looking to get into the market right now, the sweet spots are in that 4.5 to 7,000 rand category, lively demand in that market, good yields in that market. Look for good areas where you can buy for below what market value looks at. And if you can get in at those kind of numbers, then it makes a lot of sense.
Well, I appreciate it. TPN Credit Bureau CEO Michelle Dickens joining us. Michelle, thank you very much indeed. I think we may touch base again later in the year. Perhaps there's an uptick, Toombs, in employment numbers later in the year. New jobs opening up. Maybe 2022 we start seeing some more money coming in. So that 4,500 to 7,000 for rentals seems to be, I think Michelle called it the sweet spot.
Yeah.
That's what you're aiming at if
Right.
you're in the game.